comfortably sometimes actually win the matchup into a Tristana, even though we just haven't seen that really here in the LCK. The center will be lapped up, though, as the Twisted Fate is the final ban from DRX. So Skarner to come out, maybe. I mean, okay, Skarner Zyra.
That's certainly an option.
That's certainly not Tristana, is what I'm saying.
Even though it's not a lane counter, team fighting as a Nautilus, which is the favored pairing with the center, into a Zyra is painful. It's so hard with all the plants in the way. The problem is, though, by doing this, you've allowed T1 to pick up not only the center, but also the Tristana we were talking about.
Center, Tristana, Nautilus, dude.
Yeah, it's a pretty good rotation.
Yeah, I'd say that, if I was Tom, I'd just walk off the stage. I'm like, well, I'm not needed. I don't need to be here anymore. We've just got the picks. Take the tier list and go pick the ones that are at the top.
I could see them maybe hesitating on the Nautilus, just the fact it's in a Zyra, and also they don't know the support pick. So maybe they go in a direction like top here or jungle, you know, securing something for Zeus. Looks like they're fine with it, though. They're just going to secure that Nautilus. It's such a strong parent. Not as strong. I think the AD carry itemization changes definitely weakened it a little bit. Still very strong, but not quite as broken as it was in spring. And DRX looking towards AD mid laners, just because they do have that Zyra. Most people would think the Corki in this situation.
Could you imagine if he's extraordinarily powerful? But we have seen an example of when Zyra just doesn't work. As there is Ezreal alongside the Leona. Teddy's Ezreal has been legendary, although he wasn't playing it in the 94-minute game. In fact, Bang was playing that against him on his Sivir, as that's a Nidalee.
Do they just Nidalee Renekton it?
I mean, Nidalee Renekton would be the only way that I think I'd be all right with the Nidalee, and even then I wouldn't be all right with the Nidalee, you know?
Yeah, as you know, we gave Kanya in the past. Ona did get OBGG Play of the Week.
He did.
Does that allow him to play Nidalee? We'll have to see.
He is also...
We'll have to find out.
So generally, Ona is allowed like 1 or 2 games of Nidalee per year. I'm pretty sure that's how it is.
Quota.
I think it's like is contractually allowed to play a few of them. We have seen this from him many, many times. We know that he loves to play the pick. Haven't necessarily seen all of the success, though, as that is an Azir. Doesn't exactly spark all of the joy for me, personally.
Yeah, we've seen Azir do pretty well in the Trist, all things considered. You know, typically that was a counter matchup back in the past, but we've seen it recently doing pretty okay. It does mean they are very AP heavy on the side of DRX. I guess the thought process is the only tank is that Nautilus, but that Nautilus is going to be hella tanky. And I mean, even the Gnar in Mega is going to be tricky to burn through. So I feel the damage profile from DRX not ideal. I guess maybe more focused on picking for matchups. T1, I think the Nidalee and Gnar, you know, I think obviously it's picks that Zeus and Ona.
Fun drafts on both sides. Jump to the rift for game number 1. All right, here we are. Headhunter Nidalee as well. It's been a long time. That was one of my favorites for a really long time because I didn't get Bewitching Nidalee when it first came out.
Yeah, I had that skin. You know when AD Nidalee top used to be a thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a period where I was playing that a lot, and with that skin, getting some spear value there.
A little bit. And
he threw 2 though, and only hit that 1, so it's a 50% so far.
We'd go with 50. Got some backs coming on in here as the spear is going to
33.
Yeah,
dropping quickly.
It is. It is. Hopefully it just holds on to the cooldown so we don't lose that one. If Gatoran is in chat, if you could just tweet at me the accuracy percentages of the Nidalee like you have in the past, that would be absolutely fantastic. And Sponge, let's see whether he has a better time navigating the Zyra than we have seen other times, because we've seen some, you know, accidental starting of Raptors by activating a plant in the wrong spot and stuff like that that can really wreck your clear. So hopefully Sponge is clean with it. Faker.
See on the other side, you know, Teddy's very confident.
Empress Devi going to be thrown down. Faker rocket jumping, trying to get away. As Sponge is moving in. Oh, this is so dangerous. The flash has to be employed. And Ona not able to get too much, but does manage to nail that minion.
Yeah, really nice play from Yehu there on the Azir, doing well grab going over to Ona, but not willing to let the grubs go.
Yeah, level 6 has been hit here by Ona, though, as there's the Zenith Blade. Pletter actually going in, grasping roots, comes down as Ona is the focus, but Faker's already dived in. That's the first blood, and it goes to Tristana. Gets the reset there as well as Frog's rotated down. It is a disaster for DRX, although they only lose one. They should also lose the grubs off the back end.
And the big thing is Ona is level 6. Obviously not a huge boost to the Nidalee, but if Zyra had her level 6, that would be an entirely different situation. Isn't able to use that ultimate for the self-heal, and because Platter went in aggressively, weren't able to do anything to help Sponge. Yehu doesn't have his ult as well, so once the cooldowns are unavailable, we just saw Sponge go down and Guma gonna pick up. Oh, he actually missed one.
Oh, missed one. Savage.
I think he got enough this matchup and pull a bit of a lead now.
Oh yeah, this is really dangerous. Grasping Root's going to get double value, but I don't know whether it even matters. Stranglethorns comes in, the knockup comes down. Dawning Shadow and Faker gets in there. Now Yehu just trying to get himself out. The Emperor's Divide did absolutely nothing. Splatter trying to take matters into his own hands, but T1 just going to grab
from T1 there.
Yeah.
And they're continuing to apply the pressure. They're now going to look to get 6 Void Grubs. And
6 grubs is, that's going to be very difficult to deal with, especially with side lane so much. Faker as well, his split push is so dangerous.
Yeah, such a big threat. It definitely feels like DRX. There's a significant goal lead build up now. It's 12 minutes, 2,500, but now they're looking for Carrier to answer back.
Yep, potential dive here as there is the flash attempt onto Sponge, but they haven't picked up the turret aggro just yet, and he's used everything. Frog able to avoid as now Carrier should be going down here. Mystic shots, it's going to be able to be Teddy picking up the kill. And Frog seems to be okay for the moment, although he's not out of the woods just yet. Oh god, this must be so scary for the little Skarner, or the lawnmower, or the terrifying large Skarner. Whatever it is, he is in a whole host of trouble. Gumayusi does not want to be tanking this one as the Impale goes wide, and that means they can pounce on in and grab the kill. Ona very close.
Really smart from Sponge to bait that out. They're now in trouble.
And after flashes, yeah, walls don't really mean too much here for Frog, and finally the Stranglethorns get some value. DRX on the board. He's able to get the turret though, so I guess that is a large reason as to why T1 still has this advantage in the gold that is quite meaningful.
That is a lot of plate gold.
Yeah, these structures really have been taking a beating, and T1 putting those grubs to work. This bottom outer, though, has taken a fair bit at the same time, so we'll see whether DRX can augment their coffers a little bit with that one. Teddy just trying to push Carrier away, and Carrier not really even noticing that Teddy exists here in this lane because he's so incredibly tanky.
Yeah.
Rift Herald just taken for free, though, and it looks like Ono just owns this Baron Pit completely, no pun intended. Be able to throw this one down. And T1 going to return the favor when it comes to this mid-siege.
You can see actually Faker waiting off at a bit of a flank, so turret will actually get defended here. It's not going to go down, but it is very low. And again, this is a 6 grub team from T1, so I'm pretty sure like 1 auto with the true damage bin would probably be enough to take that down.
Going to turn up alongside him, and that should be the outer turret in mid lane just going down. Not a whole lot that DRX could do about it.
And you know, I'm going to be honest, if they'd stayed there to try and defend it, it would have just weakened their side lanes, you know? Like, who potentially need protection to cover that bot tower, so... And also resets needing to come in, I believe, for Teddy there. So I think it's just the right call to let it go. That low HP tower isn't really helping you anyway. But now it means T1 with that mid-tier 1 down.
So it's lore, in which case that can't be as good buffer there from Faker, but he can't buffer the next one. There's the Flash Emperor's Divide. That's the kitchen sink, ladies and gentlemen, being used to take down the GOAT. And T1 should be able to use this to grab a little bit of extra control in mid lane, despite the fact that they will probably lose out on this dragon.
Yep, DRX hopefully should just be able to clear this out. We can see Teddy moving that. He was the one who got the kill on the Faker, so big payoff. T1 just moved that pressure up towards the top lane though.
Yeah, this is not going to last very long. Teleport is going to be used here. That's going to bring Yehu over, unless it was just interrupted by Carrier, in which case he's not going to be there to join. Frog does find himself the Impale, as Dawning Shadow is going to be what locks down the kill onto the Skarner in the end. Teddy trying to get some autos down as, my goodness, Sponge, he's not even able to take the dragon without costing it his life. As now, he will go down. Faker takes a lot of damage though, and those plants need to be respected. Carrier now doesn't have a lot of damage, and so Yehu, they're just fighting over the honey fruit. Oh, this is a battle for the ages. Carrier, I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win. The Nautilus is just too strong as he takes down the Pigeon, and look at that guy. Just saunters his way back to the bottom lane.
So heavily when it's at a Zia tower.
Wait, who's defending who? Like, Solar Flare going to connect here onto Carrier as over the wall goes Frog, finds the Ram. There is the Impale. and they take down the Nautilus. They need a lot to do it. That still could get them some respite, and the Baron has just spawned. T1 still with a gigantic lead, but making the best of a bad situation is what that kind of felt like. To survive almost any sort of siege being put up by DRX.
You know what I feel like they're going to do?
What?
They're going to do this crazy thing. You might not believe they'll do this, but being that it's T1, I think they'll probably start the Baron.
That may happen. True Shot Barrage was a decent attempt there from Teddy, but not quite fast enough. That will be the Cloud Drake secured. So T1 gets their first dragon. They've kind of forced DRX out towards the top side though, so now Teddy's left alone to defend the tower. It's going to go so fast. Yeah, he does have a True Shot Barrage, but it's not going to be able to save this turret, and that is just going to explode. Teddy able to Arcane Shift backwards. Now the rest of DRX trying to make their way over. This is a deep flank from Frog, who's trying to get in there. He's invested his teleport for it as well. If they get nothing for this, it could be an absolute catastrophe. Faker gets rammed into the wall, but it doesn't really seem to matter because the Impale doesn't land. There's the ulti onto Pleta, though. He goes in. DRX now have rebuilt the Phalanx as the spear is going to miss. But T1 have just said, we'll just keep you at arm's length. We'll just throw out what we can find without hard committing. Is never mind. Gumayusi has to cleanse, and there's Teddy. Grabs the Trinity Force proc and takes down the center. Faker now has to get out of there, and DRX, they now have a slight man advantage, but not really a lot to turn it into because the rest of their lanes are in dire straits.
Dangerous.
Teddy also had teleport, which I didn't really take into account here, so they have that extra teleport available. They might have to sacrifice a lot if they want to be able to get this Baron as, Carrier booking it into the pit. Yeah, Ona's going to take a while to get over here. I think this Baron is going to go over to DRX. But what is going to happen elsewhere on the map? Faker actually deciding to teleport back in, and then Zeus teleports to the bottom lane. Yeah, I was going to say, I think, Faker, if he had been given another opportunity, would have probably opted to just stay there towards that bottom side. They had known how fast that Baron was going to be. So DRX, I mean, once again, it's a consolation Baron. It's not even like
the team fights. They deny the Baron. They can now use it to push down this mid-tier 1.
Well, let's see
what they can get from it.
See whether it does work out here. As Plant's coming on out, trying to be frustrating. Pleta goes in, gets the rocket jump out of Faker. Should give Teddy some free time with this outer turret, and they will be able to at least take that. So, I told a lie. It was 7 turrets to 2 before. Now it's 7 turrets to 3. Getting our way back into this one. As DRX playing patiently, definitely refusing to give up.
Well, you can actually see Zeus just went behind them and caught the waves, so they can't push anymore now. Now moving towards the bot lane, and they're going to get the dragon as well. So mid-tier 1 going down obviously is nice. DRX now going to take this tier 2.
Yeah, they should.
Hoping for their sake they don't lose anything more in the bot lane, but Skarner just throws boulders and clears the waves, so I think he's okay.
He is going to continue to do that. Faker was coming on over, so if Frog was in a precarious spot, would have been disaster, but wasn't.
It's causing issues right now for DRX.
Yeah, a little bit of a ruckus as DRX are just going to double down. They're going to grab this inner turret in the mid lane. Zeus will be able to pick up the inhibitor.
He doesn't have a wave, so
yeah,
I guess they're just saying that's all he can do.
Well, Faker's going to try and push Frog away. True Shot Barrage hitting the wave mostly. Gumayusi, oh my goodness, Teddy looked at him and he takes so much damage here. That is going to be this inner turret falling down as well. And DRX, when it comes to the demolition, which is what they wanted to get done here, they have done a great job moving up to 6 turrets, really evening things out as Teddy not going to be killed by a Dawning Shadow this time. And Yehu made his way back to base. Schedule these sorts of things. I think so far, DRX have shown that they're not quite there yet. They're still looking a lot better, and they are still absolutely in this game. Like you were talking about, not over until it's over. They have a lot of team fighting power as Sponge, as this Zyra.
Oh, and now Dragon being started by Zeus. He can solo this. DRX sensed this. You know, they saw him take the blast cone. They're moving more aggressively now.
Yeah, Teddy once again taking a lot of damage as Faker down to 50%. Same can be said for Teddy, though. Really has to stand in this backline. There is the Drake secured by the Gnar, and Yehu moving towards that top side because this inhibitor is still not back up yet. 42 seconds on that one, so it's pretty close. This is really going to stretch DRX. Teleport available for Frog, but not for Yehu.
Teddy's
that means
low.
that, yeah, T1, they can just start this one up. And Pleta taking a lot of poke damage if he decides that he wants to come on over here. Teddy over the wall. They maybe think, oh, there he is, he goes in. Gumayusi has to flash. And Sponge still here threatening depth charge. Going to be used on the Zyra, and they just burst down the Baron. Zeus is also just kind of winning the game casually by himself here as well. And DRX, I think they were stuck between a whole lot of different, very difficult decisions, and Spear is going to connect. Pleta is executed. Sponge, he throws down the Stranglethorns, but then he has to flash out of there. And I think this is the beginning of the end for DRX. Yahoo, there are a lot of plates spinning right now, but there's also a lot that are just lying strewn on the ground. They weren't able to keep up with all of them as T1 were just throwing too many decisions their way. Zeus, I don't know what that one was about, but he's got a GA, so he may as well dive underneath Nexus turrets, and he almost takes them all out as he does so. Onto the fountain goes Sponge, and he'll just have to watch as T1 finishes off the Nexus. DRX made him work for it, but didn't really feel close at many of the...
Banned by DRX, so it's going to be a Tristana first pick.
I'm assuming that this time DRX are going to go towards a Corki. That's what I'm assuming. But we'll see. First it is going to be the Leona and the Zyra. So not opting in for their top lane pick, and of course they did want to go for a Skana, and that one has been now banned away. Cassante locked away for Zeus. And to take that one away from Rascal, who has really enjoyed going back to that pick. And Zeri is locked in. So we're looking for a jungler and a support on the side of T1. And now, final pick, there's that Corki. And I think that this is a much better choice into the Tristana, even if I don't think it's good enough.
Yeah, well, I think it's a better lane, you know. I mean, the Azir we saw trading pretty heavily, had some moments, but I think Corki with the power in his Gatling gun early on.
By T1. So Teddy having to dig a little bit deeper. The Jinx has been something he's played in the past. I think Zyra is his fallback in many, many different games. I feel like the carry potential of the Jinx is a little bit higher, and he is going to lock that one in. Yep. Bit of a gambit here, but if they can start to get some of these resets, could be very dangerous, and they're saving Rascal's pick for counter. Diana and Rakan locked in by T1. Okay.
I was about to say Diana Rakan, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, so was I.
We all expected.
I mean, as soon as the Yasuo was locked in, it was a guarantee that we were going to get Diana Rakan, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry. I mean, what? Rock! Rock! It's a rock!
You know what? I love it. And it's just, you know, I think it went a little bit rapid fire there. T1 clearly want to consolidate their dive and get on top of this backline, get on top of this Jinx. So they fully commit. We're going all dive. AD carry is going to be diving in with us with this Diana Rakan combo. And then we've seen the Malphite and Cassante be a pretty good matchup, but also you're playing into double AD carry. That's a lot of Malphite value. And if they're trying to dive into your Jinx, you're just going to hit them with a rock.
Yeah. And there's a Zyra in it, but man, let's get amongst it and see what happens in game number 2. All right, fans here in LoL Park in full voice. I think that there are still a few more on the T1 side of things. The DRX fans all still trying to get their work done as Teddy. Okay, he's going to find Guma here momentarily. Finds a rocket.
You know, honestly, I'm actually kind of feeling pretty good about DRX's composition because they are going to outrange T1. And I feel like although T1 have engaged tools, they'll be engaging into a Zyra, a Leona, you know, Jinx Chompers. And you don't have to deal with Zeus playing a split pusher anymore. You know, he's playing the Cassante, which obviously needs to join team fights really to have the relevance. And you have a Malphite. I feel like just the Malphite alone is such a great selling point.
I would agree. I actually think that the Wombo value from DRX has gone up like through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, back in the day, you know, when gold players, you were playing with your friends and you do like, oh, let's do the Wombo combo comp.
Oh, yeah.
And it'd have, you know, Malphite, Leona.
Misfortune.
Yeah, they don't quite have that, but they're definitely going for that vibe.
Oh, yeah. It's feeling good. As Owner is now looking to start off the enemy Raptor camp. Zeus is moving in as well, but DRX are just going to push them away. It's a little bit of time. Wanted to find an angle here, as once again, Sponge just putting plants in the lane. And Owner comes down, does manage to land that Q, but Yahoo coming on over. Level 5 once again, as Owner is going to find the dash on the E. And First Blood, it happens exactly the same way, but this time Yahoo's there to answer. Still, Flash does have to be used here by Yehu to get him out of the way of FAKER, who will get that rapid fire going.
Well played from Yehu to kind of redeem that play.
Yeah, very important stuff. You can see Sponge notices the fact that Owner is here on these grubs. I think he's going to be able to do too much about it here as the red buff going to be taken. Teddy actually cleansing the slow from the extendo beam.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest.
Not sure how worth that was.
Not sure you really needed to do that.
No.
You may have saved yourself from like half a Zeri Q, perhaps, if that.
Well, DRX about to get infinitely more grubs than they got in game 1. There we go. Beautiful. Rascal is a rock. Zeus is not as much of a rock. And that's the top lane. There you go.
I would say
couldn't cleanse that one, sadly.
Built a bit like the rock, though. So.
Yeah, I would say so as well. It's okay. Teddy's dead. The cleanse wouldn't have been that useful, to be fair.
You know, maybe could it cleanse Flash the carrier engage? Maybe. That's kind of the purpose you're taking cleanse in a situation to the Rakan. You can cleanse Flash when he ults. Would that have saved him? Probably not.
No. And so he's dead, and that is a few plates going over to Gumi lane and bottom lane on a reset as well on T1 side. So that does mean that it's likely that DRX is just going to be able to pick this one up without too much contest. That is precisely the case. There is Zeus on that flank angle. He is at full health, just wanting to find someone to hit with his abilities, but it's Yehu. Oh dear, bit of Owen Wilson. As he gets a control ward down, Gumiushi doesn't find the extendo beam. He gets over the wall. Carrier not able to lock him up just yet. There's a blast cone there. Valdez, there's a blast cone there, and it is going to be denied. Beautifully done, T1. Lock down the kill onto the enemy mid laner.
Was for Brendan Valdez.
That was.
Save it.
As Carrier just barely sidestepping that one. That was pretty cute. As FAKER has just pushed Teddy around and slams him into the wall. We'll be able to take the solo kill there. A little bit of an overextension from the Jinx. Oh dear, Teddy not having as good a game here in game number 2 as it was in game number 1. Yep, already. Owner getting to work there. Going to be able to take at least their third. Sponge probably not going to
6 this time.
Yeah, not 6. Probably 5 is what I'm seeing right now. As, all right, there's the engage from Pleta. Finds another solar flare, and the layering of CC is gorgeous. FAKER just couldn't do anything the whole time. And now Rascal's a rock. He's flashing, he's dashing, he's getting out of there. He must have ulted in to try and deny something, wasn't able to get a grub, and is now going home with a lack of cooldowns.
Did he blast cone in or something? Because he ulted out and then flashed, so... I don't know how... We need to see a replay. We can speculate all we want. Oh, equal plate gold. And the same plates from the same place.
There you go. And also, it's equal dragons. As... Oh, man, that was almost not, but Super Mega Death Rocket not quite going to get there. As Yehu doesn't have now his Trinity Force completed. So first items coming in for basically everyone. I think some very important ones, of course, you know, Sponge getting to Leandri's. 2 items is probably what you really want, when Rylaze really allows the synergy to come on through. But Trinity Force, a big one for the Corki. We'll see whether DRX can utilize that as Pleta. Once again, just getting zapped.
We saw the goal leave the bottom.
Ow.
Overall, not doing as bad as last game. But in the AD carry role, it's pretty rough. Most of the goal lead is between the Zeri and the Jinx. And
how much winning has Zeri done so far this season?
Yeah, not the best overall from DRX. Try to overforce that one.
Yeah.
And this is why people like Nautilus and Vi. Can't miss with those champions.
Yeah.
Leona and Zyra, definitely an opportunity to not connect with your skills, and that's what ends up happening. And now... Yehu.
The revenge of FAKER is coming in here as now Carrier finds the quickness onto multiple members. It's a great Valkyrie, but I don't know whether even with the flash, that's going to get Yehu out of here as yet cut down where he stands. Zeus will take a bit of damage back in the interim, but oh dear. DRX, there have been some good moments, but then there's been some catastrophes.
And kind of some of the game 1 where they just took structures all over the place. Now looking to go for this mid-tier 2, you can see Zeus as priority bot, he moves over. What can DRX do?
Well, I don't know. We'll see whether Pleta has an answer. I think defending the inner turret was an impossibility. That is just going to go down with that one charge from Shelly. So she gets a headache, but going to be worth it here for the extra money in the bank. And Zeus, we thought that he was going to have a bit more trouble split pushing. It's not looking like it too much, although he doesn't do a lot of damage to the turrets. Only 5 grubs as well. Only 5.
They will zone carry away, and they should be able to get this and an objective bounty, but they are sacrificing Dragon for it.
Yeah, if you're thinking about being mean, that was a zoning miss of abilities from Sponge. As the Drake going to be started here by Ona.
That's the beauty of Zyra, right? You miss your abilities, but you spawn plants and they do the job for you.
Exactly, that's why I play the champion. You spelt it out, and it is as beautiful as you say. All right, Corki waiting in the wings. Gumayushi spotted on vision here as well, so they know kind of what's coming towards this bottom side, but not really going to get too much out of it. Back to come through, as now Faker, I mean, if at first you don't succeed, try to kill Faker again, I think is how it goes. As Teddy's moving on down towards Sponge. Fletter coming on in once again. As, all right, just wants to walk up to Faker. Does get Buster shotted, and that was beautifully played.
That was so close, though. The Zenith Blade nearly connected, and if it did,
he just follows him the whole way.
Yeah.
But T1 are now just sieging here towards this bottom side. There's the Grand Entrance on top of the rock, who's pretty tanky, but not quite tanky enough. Moonfall coming on in there from Ona. And Rascal, he will be able to soak up all of this damage, but the inhibitor is still going to go down. The job has been done here by T1, and DRX have not been able to answer now. All of Rascal's health is back. He's teleported in, but where's everyone else? What are they going to be able to do? Can they actually hold on to this one is the question. As in goes the Kazante, and it's a double kill for Gumayushi. The Rock has done nothing. He hasn't been able to get in there and affect anything because T1, they just turn on the squishy members. They take him down. It's a triple for Guma. And maybe the game's just over here.
Yeah, they have a minion wave. Rascal doesn't have ult. He didn't have it when he tried to flank. Yeah. And now Teddy's trying to defend. But the human Nexus, I'm not sure he can do it.
They might be able to kill the real Nexus, though, even if they can't kill Teddy. And this game was kind of a game until it was just done. Nexus goes down 21 minutes here for T1 as they'll finish off DRX here in this series.
And it feels like game one, DRX made a decent amount of headway, clawing back the gold lead,